Hi, I'm Amy Baxter, editor of Retail Leader, and welcome to Trend Talk. Every week on Trend Talk, we chat with an industry expert about ongoing retail trends and news. My guest this week is Kristy Alexander, founder and chief big heart of Apple Rose Beauty. So welcome, Kristy. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Amy. I'm happy to be here.
What's top of mind for you right now for this year?
This year is all about expansion. I feel like the world is opening up a little bit, so we're really focused on, getting more into retail spaces, getting into places where customers can get to our products easier. So that's kind of our focus this year.
So, and as we're talking, it's officially year 3 of the pandemic now. It's March. So can you tell me what's different about this year, your expansion year, compared to 2020 and 2021?
Yeah, so it's been a whirlwind of 3 years. I think this year, a lot of people are using the phrase new normal. I think this year,
Mm-hmm.
folks are kind of settling into it. We've been with this pandemic for a while now. I think it's also one of those odd times in life when it's almost like we've all gone through the same type of trauma. And so, it's the first time in my lifetime, and I know, for a lot of my customers and clients as well, that, we all experience the same thing at the same time. Even, originally from the Caribbean, so my family back in Trinidad, they were experiencing the same thing. I was here in the US as well. So it wasn't even just nationwide, it was worldwide. And I think with that kind of broad sense of community and humanity, that
Mm-hmm.
I think people are more conscious of what they spend their time on, what they value. I think this pandemic has really kind of brought home some of those things for people. And by extension, they're really focused on what they spend their money on as well. And I think they're really looking for products that really kind of lend themselves to their own value system, and products that really they feel good about using, not just because it works for them, but they really feel that the broader ethos of the product really kind of speaks to what they believe as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think we're definitely seeing that in particular with the younger generation, Gen Z. Like they are
Yeah.
so into transparency and aligning with values and where they spend their money. Um, but I guess I'm curious, like, what does the new normal look like for you now? How would you define it for you as an executive now?
Yeah, so before the pandemic, we actually engaged a lot with customers in person. So we did a lot of, activations in person. We were actually also in the Macy's stores. So we were engaging with consumers at that one-on-one level, kind of hearing their pain points, all of that. We, of course, had to switch quickly, once the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
Online sales were just about 30% of our sales at that point. So we automatically, lost about 70% of our sales or channels. So we decided to pivot really quickly, and realized that that kind of relationship, one of the things we found that we missed from those one-on-one interactions with customers, was just that instant feedback, kind of hearing their pain points, being able to walk alongside them to help them come up with a solution. And so we kind of wondered, how could we kind of translate this into an electronic form, but still kind of
Hmm.
feel that, that closeness and that connection with the consumer. And so our, like our email marketing was a big piece of that. We really kind of pivoted that to a conversational type
Hmm.
of communication. And so we invited customers to reply back to us, all of that. And so that kind of has taken on a life of its own. And customers really feel like they know us on a personal level. I had a customer just recently email us that, her son passed away, and she was like, I feel like you're people who I can talk to about this, just because they've felt that kind of connection with us from the two-way communication. And so we've really been trying to expand that as our new normal. And so we can really, expand. Like I said, expansion is big for us, not just in terms of retailers, but in terms of our reach to in those one-on-one interactions. Pre-pandemic, it was really isolated to the store that we were in or the market that we were in. But now we do a lot more like Facebook Lives and that type of interaction, and we pull guests on and pull customers in and talk with them as well. So we're kind of doing that one-to-one, but expanding that as well. And we see that as something that's going to be continuing for years to come as part of our new normal.
Yeah. Do you think with skincare, because it's so personal, sometimes you have to try things before you find what really works? Same for beauty products in general, I think. Do you think that there's a little bit more of a barrier to doing it all digitally versus having that in-store feeling? And how did you maybe overcome those education barriers or really increasing those touch points, I guess?
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge starting off, kind of trying to figure out how to kind of get that touchy feely
Hmm.
interaction because, we would have them sample when it was in person and all of that, and they can smell the product. So we just kind of tried to recreate it, try to recreate almost like smell-o-vision, describe what it smells like, apply it, put it up to the camera. And then we also try to bring on customers like them who have similar skin challenges. And so it's not just,
Hmm.
us talking to them, other customers kind of come in and talk about their experiences as well, the type of skin that they have, the challenges that they had. And so they kind of can relate to them at that level. And they're like, okay, that sounds like me, and then they also get a chance to ask questions, any questions that they might have about the product as well. We also
Hmm.
have sample kits, so it's kind of a low barrier to entry where they can, purchase a sample kit for a nominal amount, and they also get a coupon code for the same amount. So it's pretty much free if they like the product, and that gives them an opportunity to sample the product in their home as well. Before
Hmm.
they invest in the larger size product. So we've kind of tried to hit it from all different angles. But yeah, it is definitely still a challenge.
Hmm. Well, it sounds like you've done a great pivot there, but I'm very curious. So it's like March 2020, everything's shutting down, and you're like, oh my God, 70% of our business is in retail. What was your
Yeah.
first thought in that time?
I think it felt like whiplash a little bit because it wasn't just
Hmm.
thinking about the business. It's like there's a pandemic too, so safety and, there's just a lot floating around. So I think the biggest piece for me, um, one of the things, I run my business very intuitively, from the chief big heart, I truly have a heart for my customers. And so one of the first things that I noticed I started feeling was, I wonder how they're doing. Because sometimes in markets and different things and interacting with them, you would see them every other week, or, they may come into the store or, send us an email, that type of thing. So, and so that's kind of where it started for me. Yes, the loss of the monetary loss was big, but I was also kind of, wondering at the same time, how were they doing? How were they coping? And so that kind of started the relationship, the digital relationship with them. And then, of course, many of them pivoted because we always had an online presence and an email marketing presence. It's just that most
Hmm.
customers went into the store, but they were still used to getting emails from us. So they knew they could get the products online as well. And so many of them pivoted very quickly to doing it online. And then also, and then, like I said, we, kind of started that two-way communication then as well, where they can write back and just let us know how they were doing. I was really, really just interested to hear what was going on in their lives.